She was kicked out for looking poor, but came back with the police. Imagine being humiliated just because you looked poor, thrown out in front of everyone. But then, you come back, not alone, but with the police, and the last laugh. This is the story of Maya, an ordinary woman, wearing worn-out shoes but carrying a heart full of quiet power. Maya had always believed that respect should never depend on money. She worked hard, cared deeply for others, and walked through life with dignity, even when the world tried to take that from her. But one rainy afternoon, the world reminded her that people judge you for what you wear, not who you are. She had just finished her second shift, exhausted, cold, and soaked from the downpour. Her clothes clung to her skin, her hair was plastered to her face, and her shoes squished with every step. But her mind wasn't on herself. She was thinking about her mother, sick with the flu, waiting at home in bed. Maya needed to get her something warm to eat. And she'd heard about this fancy new restaurant that had opened downtown. Everyone was talking about how amazing the food was. She thought maybe, just maybe, they'd have something hot and healing. She stepped through the glass doors, shivering, her torn umbrella dripping onto the polished floor. Immediately, the chatter in the restaurant dimmed, heads turned, brows furrowed. Behind the front desk stood a young woman, the receptionist, with a tight bun, a clipboard, and a cloud of overpowering perfume. She wrinkled her nose the moment she saw Maya. "Can I help you?" she asked, her tone laced with disdain. "I'd like a table for one," Maya said gently, "just to get something warm before I go home." The receptionist's eyes swept over her, from her wet, sagging jacket to her scuffed shoes. "I'm sorry," she said with a smirk. "This is a high-end restaurant. We have a strict dress code. You should try somewhere more in your range." Behind Maya, someone chuckled. A man in a sharp suit whispered to his friend, "She looks like she wandered in by mistake. Probably can't even afford the tip." Maya's face burned. Her hands tightened around her soaked umbrella. But before she could turn around, a manager appeared. Short, round, and dressed in a tight gray suit. "Ma'am, you're blocking the entrance," he said. Curtly, "If you're not dining with us, please leave." She opened her mouth to explain, but stopped. What was the point? Maya stepped outside into the rain, heart pounding. The door closed behind her with a final, cold thud. For a moment, she just stood there, the cold rain mixing with the tears she tried to hide. People had judged her before, but never like this. Never so loudly, so cruelly. She took a shaky breath and pulled out her phone. She scrolled down until she found a name she rarely dialed. Detective Aaron Brooks. He answered on the second ring. "Maya? Everything okay?" "Aaron," she whispered, "can you come to the corner of 5th and Main? I think I need your help." Aaron wasn't just a detective, he was family. Her father's best friend. After her parents passed, he promised to watch over her like his own. And he had. 20 minutes later, a black unmarked police car pulled up. Aaron stepped out, a serious look on his face, badge clipped to his belt. He hugged Maya briefly, then listened quietly as she told him everything. The humiliation, the sneers, the way they treated her like she didn't belong. When she finished, his jaw tightened. "They don't know who they just messed with," he said. He called for backup. 2 uniformed officers arrived minutes later, and together, they walked back into the restaurant with Maya. The moment they entered, the room went still. Forks paused mid-air. Conversations died. The receptionist's eyes widened. What's going on?" she stammered. Detective Brooks stepped forward and held up his badge. "Who's in charge here?" he asked firmly. The manager approached, visibly tense. I am. Is there a problem?" "Yes, there is," Brooks replied. He gestured toward Maya. This woman was denied service and publicly humiliated based on her appearance. "That's discrimination. Do you have security cameras? We'll need to see the footage." Gasps rippled through the restaurant. Customers pulled out their phones. Some were already recording. The manager swallowed hard. "Yes, sir. I think this might be a misunderstanding." Brooks cut him off. "We'll find out soon enough. But I suggest you cooperate fully." He turned to Maya. "Do you want to press charges?" She looked around, at the stunned faces, the silent crowd. Her voice was calm but strong. "No. I just want people to know what they did." And they did. By the next morning, clips of the confrontation had gone viral. Videos posted by customers had racked up thousands of views. Comments poured in. "Never judge someone by how they look. This woman handled it with more grace than I ever could. That detective deserves a medal." The restaurant's social media pages were flooded with one-star reviews. The owner, who had been out of town, called Maya personally to apologize and promised action. He kept his word. Both the receptionist and the manager were fired. A formal complaint was filed, and the restaurant issued a public statement on their policies, promising training, change, and accountability. Maya never asked for money. She didn't want headlines or attention. She just wanted people to learn, because sometimes justice doesn't come in the form of revenge. It comes in the form of truth, loud, undeniable, and viral. Some people see torn shoes and think you're worthless. Some people see a humble coat and assume they're better than you. But one day, everyone gets what they deserve. Have you ever been judged by how you look? Tell me your story in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And if you believe in kindness and karma, hit that like button. Subscribe for more real stories like this. And always remember, respect is not about clothes. It's about character. Stay connected to Innocent Files. Also turn on your notification bell to know when we upload our next videos.